Hey there, this is Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we take a look at the Pisces New Moon happening on March 13th, 2021 at 5:21 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, so be sure and adjust for your location on the planet. Let's take a look at this chart, see what's happening and what is moving through us as we move through Pisces season. Now, the first thing we do with every new moon is we look at where the sun and the moon are conjunct together. Here it's at 23 degrees of Pisces and 3 minutes. You can see that this is a point of initiation and new beginnings, which is always interesting in Pisces, which is about completions, unravelings, releasing, and letting go. So there's something coming into your energy field that you're going to see in a higher way that you're complete with, and you're ready to let it go. You're ready to let something be complete for you, to shift the energy, to rise higher, to rise above. It's important to note that at 23 degrees of Pisces, you're nearing the very end of the zodiac. The zodiac circle being 360 degrees, you're almost at the very end of the zodiac here. There's something that is significant in its changes. It's significant in what you've learned, what you've healed, what have been maybe some big spiritual lessons, which are part of the Pisces energy, and which are opening you up to something new that will be revealing itself later in March and April. So what we're looking at here is something coming in at 23 degrees of Pisces in your chart that's intuitive, emotional, part of your higher self's journey, part of a bigger life lesson or life theme. It just feels significant. And the other reason why is because the sun and the moon are conjunct Neptune at 20 degrees of Pisces, 43 minutes. You also see Venus here, 19 degrees of Pisces, 49 minutes. 4 planets gather together here at this new moon, supporting you in understanding what you've been shifting, transforming, evolving. It's interesting. Like, I'm getting that image of you can't rush it. Almost like there's something that maybe you're like, am I done with this yet? Is it over? Why am I still feeling this way? Why is this still circling or happening or coming up? Huge release point here that could feel very emotional. It could feel very intense. You could feel some big energy waves. Pisces is the ocean. Neptune is our higher selves. These are bigger energies coming through, supporting us in a significant release of a cycle you've been moving through that you've had to just trust and trust. Surrender, let go, let go. The Pisces energy is where we have no ego, where we step out of that ego self-identity, where the human will is basically a very small minutia of energy compared to spiritual will, the spiritual understandings of it all. What have you been learning? Those new insights could be arriving during this Pisces new moon and be quite invigorating, almost like there's an advancement here. There's a soul advancement here that is timely. It's a shift. You're ready. And again, it could be something that you're just feeling at a very deep level of your being. And then the new moon is bringing in a higher understanding of why it's over now, why it's complete now, why you're done with it now, even why maybe you had to go through certain experiences, certain lessons, certain somethings that were perhaps very trying and testing on our humanness, on the human ego. Now we have a release valve. Now, you know what? It feels like something being removed from the energy field. Almost like there's been something perhaps taking up space, taking up room. Pisces clears out. It says, okay, this is gone. This is done. And you could really feel that at an energetic level. Keep in mind, too, that the Pisces energy is connected to the lymphatic system. It's connected to how our body processes and needs a lot of water. So there could be a flushing here. There could be a sense of really detoxing, moving energy through, a sense of the body needing a lot of energetic support because the Pisces energy is taking us into other places and other realms. And it could be harder to ground yourself. It could be that sense of not feeling in the body at times. Now, also noteworthy here is that these planets in Pisces, specifically Neptune, Sun, Moon, are receiving a supportive sextile from this Pluto that's now at 26 degrees of Capricorn. This is new territory for Pluto. This is the first time Pluto's at 26 degrees of Capricorn, opening up, transforming, evolving new parts of your chart. This 26 degrees of Capricorn supporting this new moon. This is a deep soul growth, higher self, learning energy coming in to take you to the next shore. And I've been using that word in my podcast as well. The next destination, the next place. And there's a removal here. Okay, there's a removal that's supported at a soul level. So if Pluto is all about your soul's evolutionary growth, and then you have Neptune here connected to the higher self, intuitive growth, intuitive energies, you can see how a lot is energetically shifting and transforming. There's no going back. There's no going back, and you know it because you feel it. There's something you feel. And what I'm sensing here too is that there could be choices that you've been moving between or moving. It's almost like juggling, left hand, right hand. And there is a higher spiritual calling here that's coming through. I also feel this as trusting a higher dream, trusting something forming that you may not see just yet. You feel it, you sense it, it's coming in, and it is leading you to a whole new cycle of energy that really gets started, with Aries season as it does every year. But I'm feeling this that it just feels very significant. And it's something, maybe you've been waiting on this shift. You've been waiting on a release. You've been wanting to be done with something complete. But it's at an emotional or intuitive or energetic level. It's not at a mental level. It's not even at a physical level. It's something within the energy field. So this is a very important Pisces new moon to do energy work, to keep things flowing and moving, to keep it purging, and to also be very aware of how different you are now than a year ago. Very important here in terms of not only how the world has changed, but how you have changed differently, and what are you letting go of so that you're no longer carrying baggage or any of the lower Pisces energies, which can be disappointment, sorrow, sadness, blame, self-pity, anything that is powerless or connected to victim consciousness. Could be coming up here for you to see differently, to step into your power. Pluto is supporting that. Pluto is supporting the fact that if you're ready and you say yes and you're ready to initiate something new in your life experience, there is definitely support here, but it comes after the transmutation of what you've been moving through. So very dynamic. Now, the other thing here is that we still have the planets in Aquarius going strong. Saturn at 9 degrees of Aquarius, 44 minutes. Jupiter at 19 degrees, 22 minutes. Mercury at 26 degrees Aquarius, now clearing its shadow from the retrograde and ready for what is new, what is fresh, what is different, moving into something that you've been planning, envisioning, projects, ideas, what you're building, what you're looking to get moving or get going. That's still there. This energy is going to be strong throughout the year, but it's still very strong during this Pisces new moon, which is the mental energy, the focus, the understanding of what matters to you now, also more of who you are now. So there's a sense here that yes, our minds and what we're working on is still very active. And that's an invigorating thing. It can be very creative, very motivating. You could feel even a buoyancy around it. This energy will get stronger when it's balanced with that Pisces clearing out. The clearing out is really important right now because there's new parts of you forming. And what I'm getting is that it's pretty cool. The new parts that are forming are connected to what you've been healing, because this Chiron at 7 degrees of Aries, 55 minutes, almost 8 degrees, is being sextiled by the Saturn through most of the year. So Saturn in Aquarius, working with the healing energy of Chiron in Aries, is giving strength to the individual self, the new parts of you emerging. The new parts, they're not quite here yet. Chiron is covering turf it was in last year, and it's getting support from Saturn for the healing and the understanding, the maturing. There's definitely been a maturing process that's happened. It's been required of us, ready or not. And this year, we're understanding what it means for you. Who am I now? Based on what I've matured in myself, what I've come to understand, how I've taken responsibility for all of my energy. And it's going to continue forming, especially into late March and April. So we're working at so many different energy levels right now. This is also a big time for sleep and rest. Strong Pisces is when we need a vacation and we're ready to just take a break. Although the Aquarius energy is restless and it's like, all right, I can rest for like 43 minutes and then I got to get back at it. So there's kind of this balance requirement here between different parts of you that have different needs and different intentions. Keep in mind the Saturn at 9 degrees of Aquarius is still squaring Uranus here at 8 degrees of Taurus. So there's still this tension, pressure, a sense of change is happening. How much pressure am I putting on myself, and how am I working with it? I feel like this is going to be something that shows you what really matters. What really matters to me now because of what I have completed, what is over, what's done, It's interesting. I'm getting a soul clearing energy of like, what is clearing out from my experience in this lifetime? That's how big this feels. There's some kind of big transition happening that, again, maybe you can't even put words to it. You just feel it. You know it. It's there. It's really, again, I keep saying significant, but it's important that you see that something is clearing out to make way for these new parts of you that are emerging. Now, we have this Mars now at 5 degrees of Gemini, and we have the North Node at 15 degrees of Gemini. And Gemini is always about choices and options, what direction, what am I going to choose, where am I going to go? It's a very busy energy. And this Mars, you can see that Mars is approaching a trine to Saturn at 9 degrees of Aquarius. That trine is very significant for your commitments and projects, what you say yes to, what you communicate, what is right for you, how things are coming together, the people you work with, where you're going next. I also think this could be that there might be something opening up in our local environments, local communities, because Gemini is local. So there's shifts happening here. All planets are direct. They're going to be direct until the end of April when Pluto will station retrograde. And then Saturn will station retrograde the end of May. So we have some forward-moving energy here that's helping us raise our consciousness about our life, our bigger sense of ourselves in the world, and what our energies are capable of. I feel like this is trusting in a very deep way, in a big way. It's trusting a bigger dream, trusting a higher part of yourself, trusting that it feels like it's also opening you up to some new ways of forming that next vision, project, endeavor, where you're going next, what you want next. So all in all, the Pisces new moon requires us to responsibly let go of the lower parts of ourselves that we're done with. Anything in your energy field, anything you've healed, the lessons learned, transitions. Very supported here. Very big transitional energy at this Pisces new moon. And it's also opening you up to what's going to begin, where you're going to have room for new possibilities as we go into Aries season, which is where the spiral of energy continues, but it brings in the new starts, beginnings, and what you're ready to create and initiate next. So a very important letting go, unraveling, completions, forgiveness, compassion to yourself. You did the best you could. That's what you knew. That's what choice you made, or that's the direction you went, or that's what you thought was best at the time based on who you were. You know, these are times when we really apply our spiritual knowledge and practices, where we really are kindness to ourselves, really kind to the parts of ourselves that we're learning, since we're always learning, right? We're always in a process of growth and change. And so this is seeing yourself through the eyes of your higher self, through the eyes of spirit, seeing yourself as well through your soul's essence, and to know that the energy continues on. So the more that you can transmute, dissolve, and allow certain parts of your experience to be complete, the more energy you're going to have for what comes next and what calls to you next, because it's going to really resonate with who you are now. So a beautiful time for letting go ceremonies, clearing away, and then allowing the new energies to come in that are more, they're like higher, and they're recalibrated to a new part of yourself, a new part of your own energy field. So I hope this has been helpful in understanding how to work with the Pisces new moon, how it's that interesting dance between the letting go as well as the beginning of something new. I do feel like there's higher lessons or higher understandings that come in where you see something from a higher perspective, almost like, oh, wow, that's what it was about, or that's what was happening. Also, karma clearing, big karma clearing here. If you've been moving through something that's been really intense and karmic, this is a big time for it to clear out. So you could set that as one of your intentions, is to clear out the karma you've been holding or carrying in a certain area of your life, in a certain role, with a certain relationship, a certain person. Big karma clearing here that could actually feel really light, and almost like, again, you're becoming this new version of yourself because of that sense of completion and allowing what's done to be done. So thank you so much for joining me. As always, I appreciate your time, energy, and your continual comments and sharing of my YouTube videos. If you want to know more about March, I have the whole March Soul Growth Astrology webinar for you. Use coupon code Pisces to get it for $11. It's the whole month of March. Bring your natal chart. We talk more about the Pisces new moon. We talk about the Libra full moon and the Aries equinox, as well as all the transits of March. So check that out below this video. Otherwise, I will see you back here soon for my next podcast on Mondays and Wednesdays, as well as additional teaching videos here on YouTube. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful Pisces new moon.